Let's be honest with each other for a second. You've done it, I've done it. We've all sat down on a Sunday evening, opened a fresh Excel spreadsheet or a fancy new budgeting app, and promised ourselves, this is the week I finally track every single cent. You log the $5 latte. You log the $12 lunch. You even log that 50-cent bag of chips from the vending machine. And for 3 days, you feel like a financial god. You feel in control. You feel like you finally mastered the art of adulting. But then Wednesday happens. Life happens. You're tired after work, you grab a quick dinner with friends, and you forget to ask for a receipt. Or your car makes a weird noise, and suddenly you're at the mechanic facing a $400 bill that wasn't in column B. By Friday, the spreadsheet is a graveyard of good intentions. By Sunday, you feel like a failure. So you delete the app, ignore your bank balance, and go right back to the vibe-based spending that kept you stressed in the first place. Here is the harsh truth that the financial gurus won't tell you. Traditional budgeting is the juice cleanse of the finance world. It's restrictive, it's boring, it's psychologically draining, and most importantly, it doesn't actually work for 90% of people in the long run. In 2026, we are busier than ever. We have decision fatigue. Expecting your brain to perform manual data entry for every transaction of your life is not a financial plan. It's a recipe for burnout. Today, I'm going to show you why your spreadsheet is actually keeping you poor, and I'm going to introduce you to the anti-budget. It's a system where you stop looking backward at what you spent and you start automating your future so you can spend the rest of your money with zero guilt. No tracking, no receipts, no stress. To understand why budgets fail, we have to look at the math of the human brain. The average person makes about 35,000 decisions a day. Every time you have to ask yourself, can I afford this? Or does this fit into my miscellaneous category? You are burning a tiny bit of cognitive fuel. Think of your willpower like a smartphone battery. When you wake up, you're at 100%. You can easily say no to the donut at the office. You can easily remember to log your breakfast. But every decision you make, what to wear, how to answer that email, which route to take in traffic, drains that battery. By 4 p.m., your willpower tank is at 5%. You're in low power mode. This is why you can be a budgeting pro at 9 a.m., but by the time you're driving home and see a drive-thru, you cave. It's not because you're weak or bad with money. It's because your system requires constant manual effort at a time when you have no energy left to give. Traditional budgeting is a reactive system. You spend money, then you record it. It's like trying to drive a car while only looking in the rearview mirror. You can see every pothole you already hit, but looking at the mirror doesn't help you avoid the one coming up in 5 feet. The anti-budget is a proactive system. We are going to flip the script. Instead of spending and tracking, we are going to lop off and live. We are going to use the math of automation to bypass the frailty of human willpower. Why is it that whether you make $50,000 a year or $150,000, you still feel like there's nothing left at the end of the month? That is Parkinson's law. It states that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. In finance, this translates to spending expands to fill the income available for its use. If you have $5,000 in your checking account, your brain perceives that you have $5,000 to spend. You'll find things to buy, you'll justify upgrades, you'll buy the premium version of the soap because, hey, there's money in the account. But if that money isn't there in the first place, if it vanished before you ever saw it, your brain adapts. You don't miss the money because you never mentally categorized it as spendable. The story of the 1% raise. Think back to the last time you got a raise. Maybe it was an extra $100 a month. For the first 2 weeks, you felt rich. By month 3, that $100 had completely disappeared into your vibe. You didn't buy anything specific. It just dissolved into the cost of existence. The anti-budget creates an artificial scarcity. We are going to use Parkinson's law in our favor by making sure the money expands into your investment accounts rather than your Amazon cart. This is where it gets actionable. This is the 10-minute setup that replaces the 10-hour-a-month spreadsheet. Step 1. Define the freedom fraction. You decide on one number. For most people, the gold standard is 20%. This is the amount required to fund your future, your retirement, your cash bridge, and your long-term wealth. If 20% feels like a punch in the gut right now, start with 10%, but choose a number that makes you slightly uncomfortable. That discomfort is the feeling of growth. Step 2, the lop-off, the wall of automation. This is the non-negotiable part. On the very day your paycheck hits your account, before you pay rent, before you buy groceries, and certainly before you buy a new pair of shoes, that freedom fraction is automatically moved. It doesn't sit in your checking account for even an hour. It goes to a brokerage account, a high-yield savings account, or your debt repayment. Step 3, guilt-free spending. Once that 20% is gone and your fixed bills, rent, insurance, utilities are covered, the remaining money is yours, truly yours. You don't have to track it. If you want to spend the entire remainder on a fancy dinner or a weekend trip, you can. Why? Because your future is already paid for. You've already won the month on day 1. Let's talk about the psychological win here. Traditional budgeting creates a scarcity mindset. When you follow a spreadsheet, every purchase feels like a sin. You buy a nice coffee and a voice in your head says, that's $5 less for your house deposit. You buy a new shirt and you feel like you've betrayed your goals. You live in a constant state of low-level financial anxiety. That anxiety is a predator. It makes you resent your life. It makes you feel like money is your master, not your servant. With the anti-budget, we remove the moral weight of spending. Because you paid yourself first, you have fulfilled your duty to your future self. The money left in your account is safe money. Think about the relief of that. Imagine walking into a store, seeing something you like, checking your balance, seeing it's within your 80%, and buying it, knowing with 100% mathematical certainty that it is not hurting your retirement. That is what wealth feels like. Wealth is not just a high number. Wealth is the absence of financial guilt. Now, I hear some of you saying, Win, I don't have 20% to lop off. I'm in the Philippines. Costs are rising. Inflation is real. I'm barely making it. I hear you. I really do. But let me ask you a hard question. If the government raised your taxes by 5% tomorrow, or if your company had a temporary 5% pay cut, you'd be angry, you'd complain, but you would survive. You would find a way to make the math work because you'd have no choice. Why are you willing to find a way to survive for the government, but you aren't willing to find a way to thrive for yourself? If you can't do 20%, do 5%. If you can't do 5%, do 1%. The percentage matters less than the system. Once the pipes are built, we can always turn up the pressure. But if you never build the pipes, if you never set up the automation, you are just a bucket brigade, carrying water back and forth until you're too tired to walk. We are living in 2026. We are living in a world that is designed by geniuses and algorithms to take your money. Every app, every commercial, every one-click checkout is a sophisticated trap designed to drain your accounts. If you try to fight that level of engineering with nothing but willpower and a spreadsheet, you will lose every single time. You are bringing a knife to a laser gun fight. You don't need more discipline. You need a better machine. The anti-budget isn't just a way to manage money. It's a way to buy back your mental freedom. It's about ending the war between your present self and your future self. It's about stopping the spending shame cycle and starting a wealth momentum cycle. Stop being a bookkeeper for your own poverty. Stop looking in the rearview mirror and wondering where it all went. Start being the architect of your wealth. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. Open your banking app. Set that recurring transfer. Build your bridge. If this strategy clicked for you, hit the subscribe button and join the lab. We are building a community of people who are tired of the old rules and ready for the real math of wealth. Comment automated below if you're setting up your anti-budget today. I want to see who's actually taking action, not just watching. I'm Win. Let's get